All right, good morning, everyone. I'm sure your mobile phone is fully charged. We're also charged and ready to get on the field today. Okay, so this video is just to show you exactly what you need to do to make sure you have the right form. The form you've been using before now was just a trial form. You're going to be deploying another form on the field to actually capture the information. All your questions about local government is not on the app, and all of that has been addressed. Okay, so the first thing is to look for your Google Play Store. Okay, so find where your Google Play Store actually is on your phone. Okay, so this is the Google Play Store on my own phone. If you can't find it, just search somewhere on your phone until you should readily find it. So this is mine. So what's the next thing you need to do is to uninstall. Now this is for those who already have these on their phone. If you have ODK, if you have KoboCollect or any of these, yes, please make sure you uninstall first and foremost, so that everything you've done previously, the forms you had previously, can all be wiped off. Are we clear? All right, so I would uninstall this. It says, do you want to uninstall this app? And I say okay. All right, so my next step is now to install the app. So if you're one of the new arrays we had to add up for any of those other local governments, Mirepo, Kajola, Ibarapa North especially, so this is where you should just go to, which means go to your Google Play Store, look for this name, KoboCollect, and then install. Okay, so all of us are now on the same page, and then you accept. All right, so it's just about 3.6 MB, and bingo, it's done installing. So of course the next step is to open the app. Are we clear about this? You should see these actually come up, and then you have this page. So we're almost there. Go to your top right hand corner where you have these three dots, and then go to general settings. Again, let me go back and show you how that was done. Go to your top right hand corner here, okay, and tap gently, and then you have about general setting, admin settings. So go to your general settings, and then you have these information. This is where the real work actually is. Okay, go to server, and this is it. So if you do not get the information here correctly, which I'm also going to be making sure we paste in the WhatsApp group, there's no way you can get what we're going to be doing on the field correctly at all. Okay, so https://kc dot. So just put your cursor there and then clear that out. Change this to humanitarian response .org is going to be .info, and then this last bit you change to One Life. Now if you miss any of these spellings, the app is not going to function for you. Okay, so again, look at it very carefully. https://kc.humanitarianresponse.info/One Life, and then you say, make sure there's no dot or anything after One Life. There's no space in between any of these things. Okay, and say okay, and then you go to your username. So your username is that number we gave to you, 032078092101100, etc. So enter your own username, not the one I'm entering now. Okay, enter your own username, whatever your username is, 076, and say okay. Enter your own username. Okay, so in this case, for instance, so let's say my username is 211. Okay, I say okay, and then I go to where I have password. I can create a password for myself, whatever it is. I say okay. Are we clear? So I go back again, and then this time around we just finish with server. The next thing you go and sort out is the user interface. So I go to the user interface, and then I have use device language, font size, depending on your site, medium is just fine. Navigation, very important, so that it's easy for you to navigate. Use swipes and buttons. So make sure this is what is active, okay? And then you tap away. Splash screen, show when application starts. Yes, it's good you have that, Make sure this is on Google Maps, okay, not OpenStreetMap. Make sure it's on Google Map, okay, so that we have very good views of where you have gone to, okay. And then I go back again. The next part now is form management. So I go to form management, auto send, okay. So I have to make sure that happens through Wi-Fi or cellular. So make sure Wi-Fi or cellular is up. The next thing you want to do is to make sure that you go and check for mark form as finalized. Make sure this is on. Make sure this is not ticked. Delete finalized form and media after sending to server. Constrained, processing, validate upon, forward swipe. No, make sure delete after send is also not active, okay. Make sure this is not ticked. Delete after send, no, okay. So make sure this is what your screen looks like. High resolution video, that's fine. Original image size, go and choose medium, okay, so that you don't have very heavy images on your phone. Finalize forms on imports, that's equally fine. And then, so again, auto send, Wi-Fi or cellular. Delete, finalized form is not activated. Default to finalized, that's fine. Image size should be medium, and that's it, on this page. So we go back. The last part which you need to set before you start working is user and what's that again? User and device, device identity. So you tap on meta form, so you have username. So again, remember your user ID, the same user ID you entered. I can't remember exactly what I entered the other time, so let's say it was 201. It has to be the same thing with the other one, okay. Enter that. Your phone number, what's your phone number? 08039210905. Don't enter my phone number, enter your own phone number, okay. Email address, what's your email address? So enter your email address, whatever it is, say okay, and then of course automatically generates the other three, and go back. Okay, so collect anonymous usage, data. That's fine. We're good. So we sorted out all of this. Server has been fixed. That's what it is. Okay, so my user ID was 211. So I can go back here, tap this, and make sure it's the same. It's 211. Okay. Right, if you don't have a user ID, if you're not sure of your user ID, please call the office line so that we can sort this out. Please don't use a wrong user ID. If you use a wrong user ID, the ID you were not given, there's no way we can tell that you were on the field, okay? And do not share your user ID with anyone. It's unique, okay? It's a form of unique identification for you. That's the only way we can tell how many of these data sets you actually entered. All right, so we're done with the setting. Don't worry about any other setting here, admin. Don't worry about all of this. Don't bother yourself about all of this. So go ahead and now, so you can see the option: fill blank form, edit saved form, send finalized form, view sent form. Go and get blank form. That's what you need to do. All right, so because you have uninstalled, you are supposed to see just one form here, which is hobbies in capital letter, survey and mapping of facilities in Oyo. Make sure this is the form you are using. If you use any other form apart from this, you are literally in Oyo on your own, okay. So tap on this, make sure this box is checked, and then let's get selected, okay. So you should have a message that says download result, and the last word should be success. Okay. If you're not having this, it means either your the URL you enter, that https :// kc.humanitarianresponse.onelive, you got it wrong somewhere. kc.humanitarianresponse.info/onelive. It means you got it wrong somewhere, or you are not using an Android phone. One of the participant at the workshop had this problem. She was using a Java enabled phone, so you are not going to get this. So for you to work on this project, you need to make sure that the download result is okay. So you only get to do this once, okay, and that's all. Now you're good. So the next place you should actually go to is fill blank form. Okay, so make sure again you look at the blank form you're filling. You should have hobbies, survey, and mapping. Let me go back there and explain this again. So you have fill blank form. Okay. Now if you look at both forms, if you look at the time added on Thursday, November 1, 2018 at 6:17, look at the time. Hobbies, survey and mapping. Look at the other one added as so and so. This is showing because I filled the blank form twice. You should not do that. Okay, so make sure you are choosing the one with the appropriate timing, which is this that is being active right here. I hope you can see that on the screen. That's the one in the middle here. I'm not saying it will be in the middle on your own phone. I'm just saying look at the time. This is 6:28, right? The other one down here is the one we used during the trial. So you have no business with this again. If you go and fill on survey and mapping, blah 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 blah, again you're on your own. Make sure the form you have says hobbies, survey and mapping of facilities in Oyo. Are we clear? And so you tap on that form and then you're on the field. Okay, so let's do a quick run. Select date is today's date. Okay, select time is 7:08. That's fine. Move on to the next thing. Senatorial district, where is this? So for those of you Goluwa, Oluyo, Leonara, or your east or your west, you are in Oyo Central. So I'm here in Ibadan. So let's say I'm working in the Ibarapa North, so I can choose Oyo South, and I go to the next one, and then working in the Ibarapa North, so I choose the Ibarapa North. I go to the next one, start geopoint. So I start geopoint. Now you can see the message it has on the screen. This could take a few minutes. Okay, so it's rolling. So it shows accuracy. So I can save geopoint at this point. I don't need to wait till the end. That is if it continues to roll and then the figures are no longer changing. Okay. Otherwise, if your location geopoint is good, it automatically would bring this information for you. Go to the next page here. This is just to help you understand. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is so and so. I'm currently here on behalf of the Office of the Special Advisor to your state governor on SDGs. Explain what you're trying to do. I'll be asking you a few questions, ma'am, or whoever the person is. Do I have your agreement to proceed? I hope I can continue, ma'am. So this is where you chat and get the person's permission. I move on next. So what's the job title of the respondent? The person is the say the nurse, is a nurse at maybe a primary health care center you visited. I go to the next thing. So we've removed those questions about community. Okay, so that would no longer be there. What's the name of the village, town or settlement? So let's say Anyoju. Okay, and then we go to the next question. What's the name of the ward? So maybe ward 2. Okay, next question. What's the estimated, so I asked them that from this place to the local government secretariat, how many minutes? They say 20 minutes. Next question. Is this in the rural, urban, or semi-urban? Rural is, core villages. Semi-urban is somewhere in between. Okay, so you can tell from the kind of facilities you have there. So let's say where I am in the Ibarapa is semi-urban. I choose semi-urban. I move on. So this is it. Is it health, water, education, or vocational skill center? So I said it not, so I'm talking of the health facilities. Next question. What is the name of the facility? Maybe Ario Primary Health Care Center. Okay, so I move on to the next one. Who built this facility? So maybe it was just one individual who came and said, look, this community does not have this, let me build this for them. So that's a private individual. Okay, it could be state government, it could be any other person from this option you choose. And if the person, if that option is not here, go to others. So I move on to the next one. Name of the person who constructed the facility. Maybe Mrs. Olokwe Jadi Sola. Right? So the next one. Which year was it completed, constructed or commissioned? So it's possible it was 2009. Okay. Next question. Is it operational? Is it dilapidated? Is bad but still functions? Dilapidated but non-functional? Abandoned, nobody's using, uncompleted, converted to another use. Maybe it's now for Gary processing. It's now for Gary processing since that was not the the initial function it was supposed to serve. Okay. So let's assume that's what it is. So dilapidated, for instance, and then I go to the next one. What's the reason? Explain the reason why that's the current state of the facility. Okay. And then we go to explain the reason, for instance. So if you don't explain the reason, it will tell you, sorry, this response is required. The community did not maybe cooperate with the, with the woman who constructed the project. If there's any other reason, again, you put it there. There are two other primary healthcare, primary healthcare centers, PHC in the world, so that could be your reason. And then you go on to the next question. Has the facility ever been renovated? Maybe no, so still at the same state. Estimated number of persons the facility is currently serving. How many people go there? Maybe 25. I put the number. How many people use the facility from time to time? Do they have water supply? Maybe yes. What kind of water supply is? Maybe it's a well. Do they have drugs? At least the basic drugs that they need in a primary health care center. So find out from them. If it says yes, choose yes. Do they have basic medical equipment? Yes, for instance. How would you rate the quality of services delivered? Is it very good? Is it bad? Is it poor? Maybe it's fair, you put it there. All these questions you are asking, we're asking the nurse. Is the community involved in running the facility? Maybe the community donates some amount. Okay, maybe partially. Or if they are not involved, you choose next question. How many medical doctors? So if there's a doctor there, maybe one. Maybe the person comes from time to time. How many nurses? Maybe 3 of them. Ask all these questions. You go to the next one. So what are the 3 major challenges facing the facility? 1, there is no power supply at all. 2, just ask the question. Okay, so whoever it is, list all the questions and then go on to the next one. So what do you think are the possible strategies to overcome these challenges? Now you are asking the respondent for what he or she thinks is a solution. Okay, so the respondent will tell you what it is. We need more. We need at least one more doctor here. If it's more than one, go ahead and also fill that in. Go on to the next one. Is there anything you would love to add to our discussion? So maybe there are questions, for instance, you did not ask, and then the respondent wants to say a few things. This is where you go ahead and you add, that. I think the government should actually be more, responsive. I think government, should give more money, should give more information about the timing of the doctors' attendance at the hospital. Whatever it is, the person wants to tell you, that this community has not had a doctor in any of its hospitals. Only midwives have been here. Okay, so whatever it is, just list them out. Go to the next question. So we have moved this to the back now. So you can now ask that man, please, what's your name? Or Mrs. So and so. So the person tells you his name, Mrs. T. Ka Kale Jaye. All right. So whatever it is, move on to the next question. What's the person's phone number? Very important. We need your respondent's phone number. If your respondent does not have a phone number, there must be someone around your respondent who has a phone number. Brother, sister, uncle, auntie, wife, whoever it is, we need a phone number. We need a number. Okay. Next, so take pictures of the facility. Go ahead and take pictures of the facility. So if, for example, this is the facility, I go ahead, I take a picture, I take my first picture, I put it in there, right? So I move on to the next one. I take another picture. So I want to take another picture and then I move into the place as well. Okay. And I move on to the next one again. I also take another picture and then I make sure I have that. Okay. All right, so thank you for allowing me to interview you, and that's it. So you, as a research assistant, you are supposed to provide some extra information here now. Okay, so what do you think? So tell us what you think about that place. Your own opinion, something that was not told you by. So go ahead and type that here. The hospital. Whatever it is, go ahead and type that information here, and then you go to the next one. Now, we're now at the end of this particular form. So it says mark form as finalized. Make sure this is always ticked, especially when you know that you have completed that survey. Okay, you've completed that question set. So it says save form and exit. So I save the form and I exit. So that's it. So you can see, edit save form is 2, the next thing you need to do now is you're going to the next place you fill, so you can see that this has changed to view sent form as 1. So one of my forms has been sent because my internet connection is on. But in your community, for instance, you do not necessarily need your internet connection on. What you actually need on is your location. Let me find that right here. Where's that viewpoint? Okay, so this is what you need. Okay, make sure your location is actually permanently on while you're on the field, especially when you want to get a geopoint. It has to be, depending on your phone, either black or blue or whatever it is. Okay, location. Okay, all right. So I think this settles also. I want to continue again. I fill blank form and then I pick the same form I picked earlier. Okay, so which is my form, and then I start all over again. Are we clear? All right, thank you so much for your time and best of luck on the field. If you still have any problem, please don't fail to actually reach out to us. Thank you.